All right, we are live coming at you from Discover Denton with the folks from the Denton Record Chronicle. Today we have the one and only Brett Vito talking sports here in Denton. So, Brett, what's been going on?
Well, I mean, I guess the obvious thing that's happening right now is some big changes with the North Texas basketball program. UNT elected to part ways with Tony Benford, their men's coach, on Sunday night. It wasn't a huge surprise. He'd been there 5 years. There was some question whether he'd even come back after his fourth season. They decided to bring him back for his fifth. North Texas really struggled this season. Had a pretty terrible year. Finished 8-22 overall and 2-16 in conference play, which left them last place in Conference USA. They failed to make the conference tournament, and so they elected to part ways with Coach Benford at the end of his 5-year contract.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so I mean, this will be Ren Baker's first major coaching hire. Well, one of his first major decisions, really. He hired a couple of top-level administrators shortly after he took over the program, and has made some changes along the way. But this will be his first, his first big-time decision as far as coaching hires goes, and that's largely what athletic directors are judged by. So this will be a big decision for him on what direction they go as far as bringing in a new coach.
Yeah. Well, I'm noticing a pattern with UNT on a lot of I guess building or shuffling of people, I guess is the way to say. It seems to be I guess the pattern is the best way to say it. We had football and then made some big changes there, but ended up with a very fair season. And then now we're doing the same thing with basketball. So.
Well, I mean, that will be North Texas's hope because, Seth Luttrell did do a tremendous job his first year. No one expected them to win. I think the Vegas over-under on wins for North Texas, which, isn't the best gauge at all, but it kind of tells you a little bit about what the perception is and what the expectation is on a national level. I think the over-under for North Texas wins last year in Vegas was 2, and they ended up winning 5. They went to a bowl game, just their second bowl game since 2004. So, they had a tremendous first season there. Now the question will be, where does North Texas go, and can they turn it back around? Because if you remember back when Benford took over the program, they'd had 6 straight winning seasons. They went to the NCAA tournament twice in that span, all under Johnny Jones. Had a really loaded roster, and the expectations were really high when he came in. And now, 5 years later, North Texas finishes last in the conference. It'll be a pretty big rebuilding job for whoever takes it. But the curiosity will be, can whoever they pick come in here and take the program a big step forward right away.
Yeah. Well, we certainly did a great thing with football, so I would wish whoever's new to the same luck, and it sure would be cool to see the same thing happen and just see them have a meteoric rise. I think that would be really cool. Is there, in the press, do you guys have any inkling as to who may take the spot?
Oh, it's way too early for that. I'm sure Ren Baker, every athletic director who's worth his salt, has a short list or, a list of guys that potentially they could look at if they want to make a move with any of their coaches, or if any of their coaches get stolen away if they're being successful. And Ren Baker knows what he's doing. He's been in athletics a lot of different places. And he came in knowing that the men's basketball team was pretty much on the rocks. He addressed it right away in his opening press conference. I mean, he was asked if he would make a change with the men's basketball program in terms of the coaching staff right away when he came in. He said, no, we're going to evaluate the program at the end of the season. So, I mean, he clearly knew coming in that there was a distinct possibility that barring a dramatic turnaround, he was going to be in the market for a basketball coach. And the thing to remember about Baker and Jared Mosley, his top guy, is they're basketball guys. Baker was a student assistant under Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State, and then he briefly went into coaching and was the head coach at Rogers State in men's basketball in Oklahoma, a small school in Oklahoma, before he decided that his talents were in administration more than they were in coaching. He went into administration. So this guy's background through the early part of his career was in college basketball. Jared Mosley, the other the second in command over there. He's a Hall of Fame basketball player at Abilene Christian University, was a terrific player in college, and was also briefly in coaching. So basketball is these guys' deal.
Yeah.
So you would assume that with their connections throughout the college basketball world and their knowledge, that they would be able to go out there and potentially, at least identify some guys that would be good fits for North Texas. The question will be, can they go out there and convince a high-level coach, somebody that could be immediately successful here, to come to North Texas? Can they get a guy who's already a head coach at another school, maybe a lower-level school, to come up to North Texas? Or can you find a guy that's been a head coach somewhere else and maybe didn't work out there, but he had some success early? Somebody that would fit, that'll be the question, is whether those two guys can go out there and, or mostly Baker, but, Mosley as well, help in the process of identifying and bringing in a quality coach.
Getting the stars to line up and finding us just exactly what we need. Well, awesome. Well, I know there's been a lot of excitement about that. We've had a lot of people here in the Welcome Center already asking us who's going to be the new coach, what's going on with that, what's the big news there. So I know everybody's been chomping at the bit to try and figure out who's it going to be and what's this going to mean. And I think it all is going to lay out in hopefully what will be a very positive year next year, and it should be a really good time.
Yeah, it should be. And the other interesting story this week is, the North Texas women, it's Jaylee Mitchell's second season, and she's headed off. The girls are headed off to the conference tournament this week. So they play UAB on Wednesday. They play the first game in the tournament out there in Birmingham at 12:30. So that's also something to watch out for, because the UNT women did make the conference tournament, and we'll see how long they can last out there. They beat UAB earlier in the year in overtime. I think it was 59-58. If they can get through there, then unfortunately they'd run smack dab into Western Kentucky, which won the league. But there's a possibility there that they'll be playing. They'll be in there for at least one game, and they're kind of hoping to win that first one, and then make that March miracle run that all college basketball teams are hoping for.
Very cool. Well, awesome. All right, if you want any more information on all things Denton sports, make sure you check out the Denton Record Chronicle. Specifically, look for Brett Vito under the sports section. Again, go to dentonrc.com, and you can find all the information on everything you need. We are here every Monday at 2 o'clock with the Oracles of Information, giving you everything from sports, entertainment, new businesses closing down, all things that are changing and happening and growing and developing, and all the good stuff happening here in Denton. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brett, thank you so much for coming by.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.